All right, welcome to the Kings of Causeway podcast, part of the Boston Sports Entertainment Network. I'm your host, Pat Burke, joined by Ryan Coffey. We are here to talk round 2, game 4. This is a bullshit hockey game.
Yeah, I don't really understand. On so many levels, I don't really understand what we just watched. But we can start with the officiating. We can start with the fact that no one punched Sam Bennett in the face.
Let's start before the game even started. One of the things I noticed yesterday and today was that during the coverage of the game on Friday night, we never saw a certain angle of a Sam Bitch Boy Bennett hit on Brad Marchand. We never saw it on Friday night during the coverage. We never saw it. A couple of things I know. They had this footage. That angle didn't suddenly come out of nowhere. We had this footage, just wasn't shown. I don't know how any self-respecting individual looks at that footage of Sam Bennett loading up his stick hand, his right hand, and punching a player in the jaw, knocking him out. Like, let's be honest, Brad Marchand went full UFC, got knocked the fuck out. We're not like Sam Bennett, like that was a nasty, nasty right hook, like knocked him out. Full stop. That would have been knockout of the night on UFC's 56 Saturday night. Like that would have been. He knocked him the fuck out, period. But this is hockey. This isn't the UFC. For that not to get called on the ice was, in my opinion, egregious. But you can say, hey, we didn't see it. Okay. But once that angle comes out, and it is clear that not only does he load up a fist holding a hockey stick, but fully swings, goes to the bench, and then looks back and looks around like, did I do that?
It's pathetic.
Where is the league office on that? We see it in every other sport. Sometimes things don't get called. They responded the way their refs responded today.
The NHL's Department of Player Safety reviewed the incident and discussed it on Friday night, but felt there was nothing to act on. Bennett will not be fined for the hit, legal or not. No ruling on whether it was legal or not, though. Can't even come out and say, oh, we missed a illegal hit. We're not going to fine them. They can't even say that because they're fucking scared. Like, I don't understand why we have all these reviews during the regular season. I brought this up. They discuss every single incident from the player safety, but then the playoffs start and it goes away.
But not only that, they review all these things and then they still can't get it right. They still can't get it right in game.
It's infuriating.
I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss because on one hand, I'm looking at 42 shots to 19 shots, and I'm like, that is not good enough to win a playoff game. It's just not. We did not shoot the puck enough. We didn't have enough offense to warrant winning a playoff game. However, we win this fucking game if the jackass that scores the goal, he cross-checks Charlie Coyle in order to score the goal. The only reason he's able to make that play is because he cross-checks a player into the goalie. For that to be looked at and said, we see a cross-check, but it wasn't enough. When we see in last series, Tyler Bertuzzi going down because somebody breathed on him the wrong way. When we see in this series, guys catching it a little up. Like, I don't understand that. And then right after that goal stands, we yet again have a player checked into their goaltender, and we get called on the goaltender interference. That's 2 days in a row. We have somebody checked into their netminder, And our guy was supposed to do what exactly? Evaporate?
It's laughable. It's laughable at this point. I don't know how someone like. I wish you could get some comments from non-Bruins fans on this, because I want to hear from someone that's not a Bruins fan, because to me this is just egregious at this point. Like, there's no consistency. Never mind whatever. And yeah, you can say, oh, we got outshot 42-18, but 12 minutes of power play time. 12 minutes of power play time. Like, of course they're going to beat us on shots. And unfortunately, our best players get tired from killing the PK. Like, that to me, like, it's not an excuse, but that does have a big effect on the game.
It absolutely does. It absolutely does. Playing 12 minutes on the penalty kill impacts a team. It does. I'm sorry, if you were running a 5K and for 2 of the 5K you had to bunny hop instead of actually run, you wouldn't do as well as you would do if you were just able to fucking run. Like, you just wouldn't. Like, that's it.
Yeah, and it'll go on the stats as we got 4 power plays, but really we didn't, because we had 30 seconds left at the end of the game. I mean, it's a fucking shame.
To be perfectly honest, that wasn't a penalty there at the end. That wasn't a penalty. That was a classic
like it could go
rub-off.
either way, but it was definitely a make-up.
And that wasn't that to me. That wasn't a penalty. That was a rub-off. And like it was only called with 30 seconds left, so they could be like, well, look, we gave them 4.
Yeah,
we gave them 6. Insane. We gave them 4. It's like, bro, I'm not asking for calls to go in my favor. I'm asking for calls to be realistic, and for you to look at a situation when you're like, puck is in the air, 13's about to play it. Oh, 13 gets cross-checked into netminder. Netminder can no longer come across the crease. 13 is body-checked him, and the guy that cross-checked 13, I say again, cross-checked 13, puts the puck in the net. Now we've got a good goal. There's not enough here to overturn. We are Toronto, and Vegas said Florida was winning. So Vegas, thank you, FanDuel. Thank you, DraftKings. Thank you. It's bad. It's bad when TNT is ending their coverage talking about go and gamble on here. I love sports betting, but we've now turned it into it's so ingrained now in the product that's making the league money that we'd be dumb to think that the league isn't like, oh shit, how do we make all the money?
Yeah, I don't know, because something's off. I feel like we're missing something.
To be honest, what I'm now expecting, what I'm honestly expecting, and it's going to piss me all the way the fuck off because it shouldn't have been this place to begin with. I'm now expecting the Bruins to get a fuck ton of calls in the next 2 games and chase this to 7. I really do, because all of the money is going to be on Florida to close out. The house is going to go with the Bruins. We are going to get an ungodly amount of power play opportunities or non-calls or bullshit calls to win the games. We're going to take it to 7, and they're going to say game 7, like, whatever happens, happens, man. Whatever happens, happens. And I'm going to be equally as pissed. I have no problem sitting here saying we did not deserve to be on the power play to end that game. That was a bullshit call. I didn't want it. That was garbage. I will also be sitting here saying the referees are garbage if we win 5-4 in Sunrise to survive on bullshit calls where it's just like, that was bullshit. That wasn't a trip. That wasn't a push. That wasn't interference. Can we talk about how Pasternak at the very beginning gets cross-checked, turns around and throws a hand up, and we get the penalty there for him throwing the hand up? That was good. But if that happened in reverse, I'd also be sitting here saying that is horse shit.
It did. It has happened. It has literally happened in the series.
And I sit here saying this is horse shit.
So Chuck has been doing it the whole series, just throwing punches into people's faces, and nothing happens. I don't know. It's a shame. I don't it's hard for me to sit here and say, oh, we haven't been playing well enough. Yeah, I can definitely say that. I don't think we've played up to our ceiling, but also I can't I can't neglect how bad the referees have been. That plays such a huge part in the game. It's like 6 power plays. Like, we can't really get a momentum going.
Guys are scared to go in and make plays or make hits or do anything because they're worried, like, oh my God, if we come into a tangle and this dude just falls the fuck over, I'm gonna get called for holding the stick and put my team on the defensive here.
Yeah,
like
it's taking away from
it's terrible.
It's
awful. It's awful, and we're seeing it. We're seeing it across multiple series. It's not just the Bruins series. It's across the league as a whole.
Yeah.
And if I'm honest, like if we break from hockey for a moment, we're seeing it in the NBA series as well. Like it is an epidemic that has kind of come on since all of the main broadcasters and guys that are paying the league all this money to air these games are now closely tight-knit with these gambling sites.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
I'm like, where there's smoke, there's fire. I'm not saying I know exactly what's going on or anything like that. I'm just saying there's something. It's not nothing. It's not innocent. It's not a coincidence that all of a sudden the last 15 minutes of Sports Center is a Bet ESPN thing. And then ESPN comes out and juggles the line, but then exactly pays out what their guys promised was going to happen.
I will say this. I was the other night. I told you I was down Billy's Cape House, so we were watching the Friday game.
Yeah.
And we saw the Carolina Rangers game come on for last night, Saturday.
Yeah.
And the line comes out, and the Hurricanes are favorited to win the game.
Somehow they're down 0-3.
And I get there at home, but like
they're down 0-3.
Don't you think at some point in time them getting beat 3 games in a row should outweigh the fact that they're at home in a playoff series?
And not just beaten them, they've been controlled.
And guess what happened?
They've been
Vegas
controlled.
called it and they won. And they won out. To your point, that's exactly it. Like, they came out and scored 2 goals immediately. It's like, it was so obvious to me. Like, of course, I bet on the Hurricanes because I'm like, there's no way Vegas is going to make them the favorites. And they're not going to win this game. Like, there's just 0% chance. I don't know why they were. They shouldn't have been.
No, they didn't. They were
like,
no. I don't care if you're at home. I don't like it. It doesn't matter. The Rangers have controlled you for 3 straight games, including one on your home ice. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. It's ruined sports gambling for me, to be honest, because now I can't look at anything without the tint of this is all just played. And I don't know what that means for me as a sports fan, to be perfectly honest. Like I no longer am 100% sure what that means for me as a sports fan.
It's one thing to have a call be missed on the ice, but for them to review that and then do nothing, like, to me that's
right.
Just, like,
if you
flagrant.
miss it and it falls into the realm of review, then you've got to go get it right. Like, I
and
understand we can't review it.
I'm talking about the punch to the face, and I'm talking about the goal that was allowed when Coyle got cross-checked. Like, to me, both of those were reviewed, and for the NHL to respond with, we didn't see anything, like, okay. Like, that's rich for me. Like, they can't even give us an actual reason. Just we didn't see it, like, nothing. Like,
now look,
nothing.
we've had some major referee controversies that had ended up in a number of different types of legal action in the past. We've had NBA referees that have been found to have been wagering privately on games that they were calling in the playoffs. We've had players, even this year in the NBA, get lifetime bans for betting sketchily in and around and ensuring that certain things paid out. This is not a tin hat thing. Like, it is not crazy to me to. I don't understand how you look at that, particularly the Coyle cross-check review. how you don't look at that. And even it was like, shit. All right, we didn't get away with it, boys. They called us on the challenge. We got to go back this way, and we'll figure it out some way else. For them to just confidence be like, nah, good. Nothing to see here, bruv. That is.
And then to bury us with like the 2 calls after that, too. Like, it's just like you think, okay, they fucked that up. Like, all right, then don't call one of these next 2 interfering. It's like they just it was a joke to me. Yeah.
No, it's tough. It's I don't know how those guys are sitting in that locker room right now, looking each other in the eye and being like, saying anything other than it doesn't matter how fucking hard we play or try or whatever, it is going to go against us. I don't know how that, like, I'm the guy that is the king of, all right, bring it back into the room and find your internal motivation and like go for it. But I don't know how you do that when it is just so obvious that this is not supposed to break your way. I don't know how at this point. I don't know how I could sit there or stand there in front of those guys and be like, all right, we clean up this, and this. We do this, and this. We got, like, our effort will be enough. Because if we do all of those things, the evidence is just showing that certain black and white stripes are going to find a way to make it not good enough. They're going to find a way to make it not good enough. We came out with the right intensity. We came out with everything we were supposed to. We did everything we were supposed to. And then all of a sudden, sketchy shit started popping up everywhere. And I don't know how you look across at the guy across in your locker and go, hey, we'll be all right if we do X, Y, and Z. I just don't know how to do that anymore. And it's at that point that I'm like, I don't know. There's a part of me that hopes that on puck drop, none of them get off the bench. Like, just stand there in protest. And I'm sure the refs will drop the puck, let Florida go down and score with nobody on the ice, but just stand there just like, no, fuck this. We're not going to, like, no, absolutely the fuck not. This is horseshit. This'll get some attention. Like, I think you want to find an investigation, like, here's how you start it.
I think the NHL needs to make an official comment on this. Like,
they won't.
We need to hear about this.
They won't.
It'll get glossed over. But I mean, it's insane. To me, 2 things. I feel like, 1, we definitely need fucking Marchand back. But 2, going into the next game, that needs to be the mentality. We are gonna get fucked over and over again. And I'm with you. We came out right. We got the 2-0 lead without Marchand. Like, we did all the right things.
Everything.
And then things got sketchy. But, like, the message needs to be, like, you got to even overcome that. You got to make it, skate as twice as hard as, that. Like, that's really the only message that can be said. The only thing I will say is, I guess because it was close, we didn't let this happen, and it should have been done way earlier in the game when we were up 2-0. I don't understand why no one went after Sam Bennett to start that game. Like, there were some things said, and there was some jawing or whatever. Someone should have fucking decked him. Like, we're going to get 6 penalties anyway. Pasta, you punched the wrong person. Someone should have just hit Sam Bennett in the head and said, oh, so did the same thing. Like, right. whether that was a league message or sending a message to Florida, the fact that he went unscathed and then ended up being the one to get that goal, to me, that's fucking bullshit. Like, we need to do something about that. It should have been done early in the game.
I think it starts – all right, so we're looking ahead now to Game 5, which is going to be a must-win for the Bruins. A game that I'm calling now, I think that the refs are going to manufacture a way for us to win this game. I'm honestly not even worried about this game because I think that we are going to find a way to manufacture a win. It's just going to happen. It's going to shake out that way. I don't know if it's going to take 8 power plays to 1 or 6 power plays to none. I don't know, but I'm convinced like that's how this is going to shake out. But First off, I think Pat Maroon's got to go sit in the press box. Dude is a waste of oxygen. Brad Marchand comes back. Brad Marchand comes back. You put Danton Heinen in the Maroon spot, and Marchand goes back where he belongs. Like there's your swap. There it is. There you go. Maroon's a goddamn waste of oxygen.
Maybe we just go to the speed. Like at this point, having the big guys in the lineup. The problem is Maroon's not like, if he lays a big hit, great, but he's not fast enough to even get to the spots to lay a big hit.
He's not right. He's not fast enough to lay the big hit.
And if he's not going to fight someone, then what the fuck's the point of having him out there?
Right. If Maroon isn't going to rip Bennett or whoever's helmet off and actually get into a fight, he's useless out there. He's not stick handling past anybody. He can't keep up on the forecheck. I don't know if you saw, but there were like 3 times where he came in gassed as shit in on the forecheck when the puck's going the other way and just like runs into the boards and turns around and goes back. Like,
and he's pretty good at like the board play and creating space and then hitting a guy for a shot. Like he's not even creating anything like that, like off the sideboards. Like he's literally not doing anything that we need him.
He's a waste of oxygen. Send him to the press box. I don't like. He's done. He's cooked. Get him gone. You hope to have Marchand back. You honestly believe that a guy like Marchand is as opposed to a guy like Austin Matthews is going to be actively fighting to get back in the roster or in the lineup as opposed to actively avoiding it until Game 7. So I honestly expect him back. I also, like I said, I expect us to win the next 2 games. Because that is what makes the house the most money on this. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I'm projecting that's how it's going to happen. If it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen. But based on everything I've seen, this is either all being manufactured for a long series or all being manufactured against the Bruins. And I was talking to my dad at the second in the middle of the third period after the Barkhunt goal. And the Choud for the first time in his fucking life was like, I think I agree. This is fake. This is bullshit. And he's done watching. He's not watching anymore. He's done. Cole, like he's fucking done. He was like, I will go back to, I will find another sport that doesn't reek of manufactured results. I don't know what that sport's going to be yet, but he's done. He's no longer watching the Bruins. He's out. He's completely out. He's done. This is a guy that shouted me down during the Toronto series when I was screaming to hell and high water about how the refs were manufacturing a 7-game series. He's straight up done. He saw the cross check, heard the result. I was like, I'm fucking out. I know exactly what this is. His words, I've seen this. He's lived through when the NBA was getting rigged every other day. And he was like, this is exactly what it was. We would see a blatant blown call. They'd go to check it, and it was blatantly fucked and still got the thumbs up. He's seen this, and he's done with it.
Just in case anyone, I had to pull it up. In case anyone missed it during the actual game, they read this off. But Andrew Raycroft, the goalie that does the NESN feed for the Bruins, posted the explanation in the rule book. If a defending player has been pushed, shoved, or fouled by an attacking player so as to cause the defending player to come into contact with his own goalkeeper, such contact shall be deemed contact initiated by the attacking player for purposes of this rule. And if necessary, a penalty assessed to the attacking player, and if a goal is scored, it would be disallowed.
So the cross check into the player who goes into the goalie, there's a whole rule section that's like, that is done for that exact cause. And we said, nah, didn't read it.
This is like the league going, is 2 + 2 4, and they're like, no, it's 6. Like, that to me is what this is. Like, you can't read that and say that is not exactly what happened. That to a T is exactly what happened. So I don't know.
And so I know, like, the Choud was watching the NESN feed, and was plus. So he probably got like some Raycroft commentary on there. And because what they do is NESN still they don't have the video rights anymore, but they have the audio rights, and so he plays the TV, puts it on mute, and listens to the NESN radio as it's happening.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing like whether or not Raycroft was a part of that or not, they brought that up because that was what he cited. He didn't cite who it was. He was like former Bruin, but this now makes exact sense. It was Raycroft who must have gotten pulled in.
I'll say this, even I don't know where you were watching. I was watching on HBO Max, but I will say this. I don't know which, I'm not.
The commentators were baffled.
The commentator was even saying, like, he's like, it was like 5 minutes after that, and he's like, I'm still actually shocked.
Yeah, they were baffled. They were baffled.
Which is rare for the
neutral commentators to be like, I don't know what the fuck is happening. Okay. All right. Let's shelve this bullshit hypocrisy of a game. Game 5. Sunrise, Florida. We're hoping Brad Marchand is back. Jeremy Swayman needs to be in the net because the man is a goddamn superhero.
He has to stay in.
He's a goddamn superhero.
I mean, he still had over, he's still at a 950 save percentage or whatever the fuck it was.
What? Let's pretend that we are dealing with NHL 24 refs where it's just a computer, like very cut and dry, black and white. Like, let's take the refs out of the equation. What do you need to see for us to basically do to Florida what Florida did to us? Like, let's not pretend that there's not some giant poetry in motion bullshit here. Like, let's actually, you know what? We'll touch on it a bit. This is legitimately poetry in motion.
I don't know what to do because I'm with you. I feel like I'm like not even worried about the next game because I think
we get the next two.
I know this.
We get the next two,
if not the next two. But the problem, Pat, is every time I bet on the Bruins, they've gotten smoked. I've bet on them 3 times.
Stop betting.
No, my point is I didn't bet on this game and it still happened. So maybe I double down and rebet because the script is in and we're winning next game.
I think we're winning the next two. I think we're winning the next two.
And then they'll decide if they want to let us have the Cinderella story. Oh, we did what the Florida did to us last, or they're going to knock us out with another heartbreak. But
right.
I agree with you. I feel like this goes to 7.
I'm legitimately sitting here not even worried. We could come out. We could demote everybody and just bring up the P Bruins, and we would win these next 2 games. They would find a way to have us win the next 2 games.
As far as what I need to see, though, without the script being in, I feel like, honestly, bring what you brought in the first 10 minutes of this game. Hopefully Marchand's back. Bring it so that we're the ones we might not get the calls, but make it so they have to fuck up another game like this. Like, make it even worse.
Right. Make it just egregious. Make it just egregious. That we can just
get the interference calls. So that they can't blow 15 calls.
Right. To where our intro video in the offseason is just blown call, like, and everybody just knows, oh shit, blown call. Like,
and you gotta go with Swayman. I mean, I think there's a lot of positives we can actually take out about tonight.
I agree. That's the most frustrating part is I don't think we deserve to lose this game.
I don't
know if we necessarily deserve to win it, but I don't think we deserve to lose it.
I didn't get on with you Friday because I was so fucking pissed at that game too. Honestly, it's just infuriating to watch these games sometimes now. It's just like I'm not even having fun. I'm just screaming at the TV because it's like I feel like I'm not even watching the same thing everyone else is.
Well, I mean, the Choud has gone the same route, and the Choud being 30 years older than both of us, has decided that his time is more valuable doing literally anything else. And there's a part of me that doesn't blame him. The fact that he was coming to me with years that the league or the refs have been proven guilty of some shady shit was all I needed to hear of, like, all right, you're finally open to the idea that, like, what we're looking at isn't right. I'm not saying it's a giant anti-Bruins conspiracy. I'm saying what we're looking at and what we're seeing isn't right. Like,
100%.
like if we had seen in the Stars Avalanche game, if that cross check had, we also would have been here like, that was bullshit.
100%.
That is bullshit. Like,
100%.
yes, it happens to be happening to our team, and we're talking about it happening to our team because that's who we're actively watching. Tom, like, I'm not watching the game that's going on right now because I'm doing this podcast because this is the team that I care about and support. But I guarantee you, like, some weird shit's happening in those. They're happening in all these games. And at some point, you just need to look at, like, what the fuck is happening? How are we allowing this to happen? Where is the integrity in this game?
This is like this one reminds me of, I don't know if you remember this, I forget what year it was, but it was a series I think we lost to the Columbus Blue Jackets, or we might have won, but like we lost an important game. It was, we had they had a shot that went like up off the netting, like very clearly. All our players, our bench saw it.
Yeah, came down,
yeah, landed on a guy's stick, and he shot it in, and they're like, goal.
Didn't even look at it.
No review, whatever. And like, to me, that's like, why would you have 6 guys all sitting there telling you it hit the ice, not moving, but then you can still continue to call that a goal? Like, that's just so blatantly obvious, something between right and wrong. I don't care what the fucking rule book says. Like to me, that's just, it's like such obvious shit. I don't even know how they can sit there and call it the other way.
It's like how in the last game where what's his nuts hits it with a high stick into the net. One referee comes up going, no goal. I'm telling you, high stick. Another referee who on review is not looking at the puck when the puck is hit. He is looking the other direction. He's the one that calls good goal and waves the other guy off. What, like, that's not looked at. That's not talking. Like, we're just.
I also just can you explain to me why us challenging a call is a power play for the other team? Like, who decided that was a good rule? Like, who decided that's a good rule?
I understand why. I actually do. I actually do understand this one.
I get not delaying the game, but we lose our fucking challenge. That's the penalty for getting it wrong. We shouldn't be double penalized. That actually is fucking crazy to me that that's a rule, to be honest. Let's hear it.
While I don't necessarily love the outcome, I will say that has been the thing for a number of years. Like, that's not something that
no, 100%. I know it's a rule.
I understand it. It's normally done to try and deter needless challenges or whatnot. My personal feelings on it are, if y'all fucked up, like, why isn't every goal reviewed? Basically, is like, we got to the point in the NFL where every touchdown is reviewed. So you don't have to throw your challenge flag on a touchdown because it's going to get reviewed. And if there was something wrong anywhere in the buildup, it's going to get called. I think that needs to be taken to the NHL because, hey, if something was offsides, like, that's a very easy thing while the play is still going on for one of your video assistant referees to identify, like, hey, no matter what happens, this is going to be offsides. Or, hey, if this happens to go in the net, like we're gonna have to look at it because this was fucking close. Like,
Yeah, 100%.
That like it just like your goal should be to want to get it right, not for the coaches to basically say, "Hey, fuck you, I think you got it wrong." Because what does that immediately tell the refs? We have to be on the defensive and prove we got it right. Like, no, you're wrong. We got it right.
Like, it just doesn't logically make sense to me why you would be penalized for using something that, like, the whole point of the challenge is to ensure we get something right. So, like, why are you penalized for using that?
But quite clearly, we can't even get it right. But we can't even give it right. We can't even get it right, though.
We get the
not
goal
only that,
scored
not,
on
not
us,
only that, exactly, and we still don't get the call right. We still don't get the call right.
That doesn't make sense. That doesn't. I just think that rule, like, I know it's been in the league for 4 or 5 years. I just don't understand how coaches, whoever owners that are sitting there can sit there and be like, this seems like a good rule. Like, to me, that's so common sense that, okay, give one challenge a game, but you don't get a penalty if you get it wrong.
It's not like in baseball. What? It's not like in baseball when the coach challenges, does the other team get a run or a guy put on second or something? It's like,
if you get 5 challenges a game, then okay, maybe I could see that being a thing because it's like, yeah, you want to like deter them from using.
But if you only have the one,
but if you have one, like, why are you penalized for fucking using that? That's so crazy to me.
No.
To your point, I mean, obviously they should just have everything reviewed at this point. But I mean, there's so many things wrong with it that I could go on for days.
Yeah,
the most frustrating is I did not realize the NHL player safety just stopped in the playoffs. Like, they just don't release what they did in the regular season. The fucked up part is there's more games in the regular season. So it's like, if anything, you have even more time to release these comments and reviews of what X was or what happened in this game and why they were suspended. And they just choose not to in the playoffs, the most important time of the year.
So my opinion is A, that whole department is bullshit. But B, while I historically and for 9 out of 10 cases am pro union, the referees union, just like the umpires union in the MLB, like, we got to bust that up because it's embarrassing that these guys are blowing calls in the MLB. It's embarrassing that these guys are able to, like, this same referee crew is going to be down in Sunrise, Florida. Like, it's going to be the same fucking team doing the same fucking bullshit. Like, we don't want to talk. We don't want to pull a couple of guys out and be like, what the fuck were you thinking? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, nope. These guys are good.
They're refs
Doing
too.
good.
Like, to me, they should be rotated every 2 games. Like, these refs should go to Colorado and Dallas. Those refs should come here. Like, every game. Like, why do they have to travel with the teams? Like, just flag them across the country.
I also think that these refs should be on a graded scale where the bottom 20% get sent down to the minor leagues and the 20% highest in the minor leagues get promoted up to the big leagues. Like,
Agreed.
You fuck up a call like that, get the fuck down to go the fuck down to the West Coast Hockey League. Like, go do some Bush League shit and get paid $11 an hour, you fucking bum. Like, it's bullshit that there is zero accountability with these referees. And it's even more bullshit that they still get to hide behind the referees, tough job. And there wouldn't be a game without the referees. This is so hard. They're trying so hard. They're doing their best. They're fucking human. Get it the fuck right. You know what happened if I fucked up like that overseas? If I shot a child I wasn't supposed to, I would be in Leavenworth, Kansas in prison for 50 years. I didn't get to, oh my God, I was so stressed. There were bullets flying all around me. Things were blowing up. I accidentally shot this kid. I'm so sorry. Please let me go on the next mission. It was like, no, you're in handcuffs going back to Leavenworth, Kansas. Like, you're fucking done. You're gone. You're Gunskis. Get out of here. Like, you're fucking dead. Like, you're done. Like, I get it. The stakes might not be quite as high, but quite honestly, more money is spent on the NHL than was ever spent on any of my deployments. So, like, get it the fuck right. And if you suck at your job, you should get fired. If not, I should be allowed to show up at your house and walk over your wife's neck in skates.
I mean, you nailed it. Like, I feel like if something smells fishy, it's fishy. Like, like there's all these little things. It's like the opposite end of that spectrum is actually nothing's wrong. Like we're just nothing to see here. Like that's obviously wrong. So it's like
We know that's not right. Like we know that's not right.
Yeah. So to me, it's like there has to be something going on. Again, I don't know what level it is. I don't want to call it a full conspiracy theory. And there's 35 refs in the NHL getting paid off on a daily basis. But there's some level of fuckery going on that no matter how you slice it, there's just too many things adding up at this point. It's insane.
It's weird. And it's one of those when you start seeing like, oh man, look over there and that 2 and 2 equaled 4. And you look over there and oh, that 2 and 2 equaled 4. The math is mathing. The math is mathing. And it's equaling fuckery. And I don't know. I don't know how to save it, to be honest, at this point. Like, I've brought this up before. I brought this up pre-playoffs, so I don't even feel like a hypocrite bringing it up now. Like, I brought this up pre-playoffs, where in 2005, the 2005-2006 Serie A season, Juventus was found guilty of bribing a metric fuck ton of referees and fixing games. And they ended up getting relegated 2 divisions that summer down to Serie C. And those referees like went to prison. Like they went to prison in Italy, which might sound like, oh, I'm sure they were just baking bread and eating cheese. Having lived in Italy for 10 years of my life, let me tell you, Italian prisons, not like that. Not like that at all. You do not want to go to Italian prison. You're sleeping in shit. You're literally sleeping in your own poop. That's how Italian prisons go. Anyway, that happened as recently as like 20 years ago and was widespread. But it triggered a giant investigation across all of Europe, to which teams like Barcelona, Bayern Munich, among others, were then found, there were some interesting transactions that happened that seemed to coincide with, okay, you're going to give up that league title from 10, like much like they took Reggie Bush's Heisman away 5 years after the fact and just gave it back to him now. Like it was very much of that thing where it's like, oh, all right, so this kind of thing just kind of happened. And it wasn't like this giant, like, oh, everybody's suddenly making millions of dollars. It was just kind of a, hey, your boss is telling you, hey, if you see an opportunity to give a penalty kick, give a penalty kick. If you're up in the air and it's against them, don't do it. If it's up in the air and it's for them, do it. Like, it was never a direct, like, hey, you're going to find a way to make this happen. It was just very like, hey, find a way to get this game to 7 series, or this series to 7 games. Like, oh, all right, maybe do this, maybe do that. Like it's not unheard of. It's not unheard of in recent times. Like, we should not be surprised especially with all the money that's out. Like, we should not be surprised.
I'm not. I think fucking game 6 Tuesday. Fucking
5 Tuesday.
Game 5 Tuesday.
5 Tuesday. We'll be here. We'll be talking. We'll be excited. We're gonna be excited because the Bruins are gonna have won. But I want the record to show that I am also going to have a fuck ton of referee calls. I'm going to be like, that was bullshit. It worked in our favor, but that was bullshit. That shouldn't have happened. Like, that was awful. That was atrocious. Because I am determined to what, like, from a refereeing standpoint, I am going to be mad when they fuck up, period. Because the stakes are too high. The games matter too much to too many people for 4 fucking retards wearing stripes to be able to control this much.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's garbage. It's garbage. And I know that I don't know who the fuck runs player safety nowadays. I know it's not Brendan Shanahan anymore.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Let's
Whoever
look it
the
up.
fuck it is, he needs to be taken out back in the back alley and beaten with soap in a sock because the lack of spine on this dude is egregious.
Oh yeah, it's George Paris.
Didn't he get suspended like a lot
Yes.
in his
Yes,
career?
Yes, 100%.
This is former Anaheim Duck, Sparrows.
Yeah.
Or Paros.
George Paris, yeah. Spent 9
formerly
seasons in the NHL where he amassed 1,092 penalty minutes. He must, dude, Pat, he must know player safety since he had so many penalties himself.
Hang on. You said
You
9
have to
seasons. How many minutes?
Pat, you have to have experience in your job. So because he had 1,000 penalty minutes, he knows how to, judge penalties the best.
No. It was what though? It was 1,000. How many penalty minutes?
1,092 over 9 seasons.
1,092 divided by. So that's an average of 546. So divide that by 82 games. He averaged 6.65 play or penalty minutes per game. Per game. That's 3.5 penalties a game.
Yeah, that's why he gets to take over player safety because he's had the most experience doing the penalties, so he can judge now. It's actually comical to fucking to read some of this stuff.
That's atrocious. That's embarrassing. That's terrible on 1,100 different levels. This is, I mean, but at the same time, I know that in 2 days we're going to be sitting here celebrating, and also I'll still be talking about bullshit refereeing because we're going to win that game. It's going to be because of bullshit refereeing, and I'm still going to complain about the bullshit refereeing. Because
how does that work? Like, can the NHL Players Association bring up like anything with that? Like, fucking, aren't they working on the players' behalf? Like, I'd be in there fucking telling them they need to do something about this.
They're supposed to be, but you're really telling me that the Florida players are pissed right now?
Yeah, 100%. But it's fucking insane.
I don't know. Well, I know one person that won't be watching on Tuesday, and that is Jim the Chad, which is a damn shame. But they finally broken a fan of 60 plus years with this absolute bullshit, and it's a quote, fucking rigged. And you find it hard to argue against that. Regardless of how this goes, this could go 7 and we win. This could go 7 and we lose. This could go 5 and we lose. Like I
don't know if it was just our parents' generation, but my dad is the same way. Like usually he errs on the side of like penalties are not going to change the outcome of a game or like whatever. There's always bad refs, and you need to figure out a way to win it. And he'll very rarely say, "Yeah, that was blatant." I was at my parents' house for the first period for Mother's Day. Had our dinner, watching the first period as a family, and my dad literally hadn't seen the Sam Bennett hit, so we're watching the pregame.
And they show that about 900 times.
It went on. He was like in the kitchen. I go, Dad, have you seen that hit yet? He goes, No. What happened with Marchand? I go, you haven't seen the like actual footage of it. I was like, you just saw like the game, what they didn't show you. He's like, all right. I rewind it, and he sees it, and he goes, how many games did he get suspended? That's his first question.
Hey, he's playing tonight.
And he errs on the side like he is more on the refs, I'd say. He was very similar to your dad. And he was even like, how many games was he suspended for that? Like he doesn't understand how you can watch that and not do anything. Like basically say nothing was there.
So my father-in-law is in town right now.
And I haven't asked him about the one that just happened tonight, but I'm sure he's going to be fucking livid about it.
Yeah. So my father-in-law is in town right now, and we were doing the same thing in pregame.
Oh,
and they were showing that hit at the beginning of why Marchand's out. And my father-in-law, who he's Scottish by birth, but grew up in Montreal, and went to college in Montreal. He's a big hockey fan. So we're playing this, and he's watching it through, and he's like, I don't see it. So we watch it back a couple of times, and he's still not seeing it. I'm like, all right, whatever. I don't know what to do. So I leave the room because it's the pregame. I leave the room, leave him the remote. And when I come back, he goes, it was his right hand. It wasn't the left that he looks like he's hitting him with. He picks his stick up with his right hand and takes a swing. I was like, yes, that's what I've been trying to tell you. It's like, how in the hell is that not given as a penalty? I was like, sir, it wasn't only not given as a penalty. He's not getting fined. They're saying there was nothing wrong with that. And he goes, that's atrocious. That's terrible. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to say other than we're going to win the next 2 games because Vegas is going to make a lot more money if this goes to 7. So,
I mean, the Hurricanes game fucking proved it to me. I feel like we're definitely taking the next one in my eyes. There's no scenario where they don't let this go to game 7.
I hate that now I'm going to go into that game feeling that way, and then when they win, my joy of them winning is going to be tempered by this is fixed anyway.
Yeah, 100%.
It makes it tough to watch. But at the same time, I don't know what else to call any of this.
I'm honestly still a little bit in shock that how quickly I watched that game turn from like we did all the right things, pretty proud of the team for coming out the way they did without Marchand and everything that happened, to just like flick of the switch, holy fuck, we're down 3-2. Like, what just happened? Like, it just it's fucking brutal.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've got game 5 on Tuesday. Anything you want to cover between now and then? Anything we missed? Anything we forgot?
No, I think people like Charlie McAvoy and Lindholm, they need to step up. They need to play better. David Pastrnak. You got Swayman standing on his head. I'm still happy with the majority of the young guys play. The big guys need to step up. Hopefully Marchand's back, but they need to set the tone. Regardless if we're getting calls or not, we basically should assume we're getting fucked. So you better be bringing your A+ game.
And if you're gonna get the calls going against you anyway, at least go fucking earn it. Like, don't let it be some ticky-tacky shit. If they're gonna give a penalty, like as soon as you realize they've whistled you for, as soon as you realize they've whistled you for some bullshit in the face, like just fucking take them down at that point.
Yeah.
And like they can't add a double on top of that. Like just fucking, oh, you're gonna call me up, fine. I'm just gonna take this dude's head off.
I don't. They need to go after Bennett still. They didn't do it this game. Someone needs to go fucking punch him in the face.
Somebody needs to go after Bennett, and somebody needs to stand on Kachuk's throat with skates. That's all I'm going with.
I'll volunteer.
I'll go to prison for that. All right, buddy. Well, we will. This is depressing as fuck, and I hate meeting like this. I really do.
Yeah, I do too.
But it is what it is.
So I'm sorry I couldn't draw my sorrows with you Friday, but I was just too fucking pissed.
I feel you. But you were here tonight, and that's what matters. We will be back Tuesday night after game 5, where I'm predicting now we're going to celebrate a Bruins win, and I'm probably going to be bitching about the referees on that one too. At least you're going to get some consistency. Win, lose, this is bullshit. All right, if you've got nothing else, let's get the fuck out of here and let's go ahead and tackle the week. Good job by you, buddy.
See you Tuesday, buddy.